Hey y'all, happy Monday. Well, welcome back. So next week, or this coming weekend, is August 1st. So I thought this would be a great time to share with you what you can plant in the month of August. And because it seems like it's never going to stop being hot, I thought it would be refreshing for you to know about all the exciting changes that are going to come to our planting calendar around August 15th. So I'm going to take you through kind of doing my morning chores, which is going to get you a little bit of a tour in there so you can see what's growing on in my garden. Then we're going to check out what you can plant this month, and then hopefully you'll be inspired to get going on a fall garden, especially if you wanted to do a garden this spring or summer and you just didn't get around to it. So let's go check it out. Thought I'd just bring you along for my morning chores, and then you can see what's going on. So we're heading over here to water the bags that I have on the deck, and it does look a little bit different over here because I've added, so I kept 2 bags. I kept these 2 semi-decent looking loofahs, but I added some more soil to the top of them, and then I've been filling up other bags to get positioned over here, you know, so I can start growing in them. So I'm just gonna give the loofah a little bit of water to get it through the morning. Well, mostly because it's used to it now because of the poor soil that it had. But so I'll get another, we got 2 bags over there filled up that'll go over there, and then I just need to do one more, and then I'm gonna be ready to start planting some seeds in there. And I got some tomato plants over there, and otherwise I'm just trying to keep this soil a little moist. So now I'm gonna head over to the other side. So see here, this bag's ready to go. That one needs a little bit more. And these are the bags that were over there, and this stuff that's in them, I mean, I can't decide if I'm going to do a video on just how disappointed I am in this stuff, you know. But my big project area, I've been working every day. So yeah, so first of all, I've got some things over here around the way that I need to show you. So I gotta get my hose stretched out. So if you don't know, I want you to know that a tree well, this is my lemon tree, is a good place to plant things like a pumpkin or some cantaloupe, because they get a lot of shade here. They have a lot of inherent moisture because we deep water this, and this tree will give it something to vine on. So right now I've just got this right here, kind of keeping the birds away from it a little bit. So that's one thing I've got going on. I got this bed set up with a bunch of corn. You can hardly see it. No, that doesn't look like corn, but that over there does. And this bed right here is driving me crazy. You know, it's the bed that I let solarize, and then I put some of that junk stuff up there, that junk looking compost in here, and this bed was all ready to go, and I topped it off with that junk compost, and now it's just struggling to get these seeds to come up, and I'm just so dang disappointed. Watch, like, I'll water this and the water is just gonna, it just gets to puddling. See that? See how that water's just sitting on there? It's because this thing is just not doing so great. Now, back there in the corner, if you can see, I've got another crate back there, and that's butternut squash, I think, that I just stuck in the ground over there just to see, like, what would happen. And I'll give it a little bit of water, but mostly I'm going to let it survive on its own. Now, here are 2 of my okra plants that used to be over there in the shade, but it's time for me to start getting ready for some more bales. So I gotta get stuff moved out of there. And then you'll see, like, in the well of some of these okras, I planted some squash too, because thought, what the heck, I mean, if they can share space, then the okra would be a cool thing for whatever's in there. I think it's a squash or a pumpkin to climb up. Now this is, I believe, a mess of cantaloupe, because if you mess with the vines, it smells like cantaloupe. And I got that trellis right there strung up yesterday. So, but now look, it's all looking like it wants to come this way. And I planted some pumpkins in here. Like here's, it looks like somebody pulled up one of my pumpkins, so I got to get them covered up. But I snuck some seeds in here that are coming up, and hopefully some more stuff that'll just make this all sprawl out. And I haven't given you an update in a while on my compost bin, and this is the highest I've ever gotten it to be, and it's looking pretty good. So maybe another couple of sessions and I'll be able to start turning it, you know, but right now I'm pretty happy. Now, my tomatoes, they just continue to look as crazy as they want to. This okra right here and that okra is going to get moved out soon too. Now, this one, that big tall thing there is a sunflower, so I'm happy about it. But the zinnias, they're not that happy. And these dang-o tomatillos are just taking over, but everybody tells me that as soon as it cools off, then, you know, we should start seeing some tomatillos. So I'm trying to let stuff just live this year instead of ripping everything as I go. So we'll see. But I'm going to get a bunch of beans planted in here this week, a bunch of green beans. And over here, the bale is eking along. I took out the zucchinis that were right here, and I'm getting ready to take out that and probably that over there. Now I can plant more, you know. Now, I'm also excited to share with you my seedling, or my tomatoes. Now, these are all ones that got planted up a week later than all these down here. And these down here have all had their first fertilizer, and so for the most part, they're happy and doing pretty well. And I'm just going to keep adding soil to the containers until it gets filled up. So again, here's a kind of tomato row. My pumpkin has come all the way down into the tomatoes. I don't know if you can see that right there. Mint, supposed to love the sun, but it really loves the shade over here. And this is how I water the bale. You know, I'm just mostly watering. Now, I'm really excited to show you. So this is, we put together a shade area here for the sweet potatoes, and they are so much happier since we did that. So they're loving life, and it's green in there, and I've got some slips to get in. I've got to get them in this week, filling them up with water. And then we should be doing good for some good sweet potatoes. So there's that. Now in the morning, I don't typically mess with the strawberries because they don't like a lot of water on them. This is my huge cosmos. And look how big, this is my pineapple. And this thing, you guys watched me plant this up last year, and it's like, you know, it's almost 3 foot tall now. So that's pretty cool. Got to go back around here and get these guys here in the front. There's some sun tea that we left down there from yesterday. But I'm going to get these bags, and I got some shade put up here because they were just getting beat up. But that's pretty much what's going on here in the garden. You know, still looking good. And we're definitely batting down and getting ready to do everything for the fall garden. Now, I see a lot of people complaining about these cups, but if you keep this tray moist every day, they seem to do okay. But you can see here, this is my indicator that they need water because the top of this soil is dry. So I've been just using this cup. So 1.5 of these cups is kind of my standard measure that gets enough water in the bottom of the tray to get the cups wet, but it doesn't make it where I have to pour a bunch of water out. So that's kind of my tip for these trays. So now let's go figure out what we can plant this month. Okay, so we can still plant basil, but our last chance is kind of now through the 15th of this month. So we can do snap beans, which is like your green beans, black-eyed peas, carrots. This is kind of the first true run of carrots. So if you haven't had success because you put your carrots out too early, put some more carrots out. Tomatoes by transplant. We've got a last chance to do some corn planting through the 15th, green onions, and then we've got our last chance at some winter squash and pumpkins. So your winter squash is going to be like butternut, spaghetti squash, acorn, those sorts of things. Tomatillos, we're going to have those through a last chance through the 15th as well. And then the excitement starts, because on August 15th, with some protection, it's ideally, these are for September 1st, but you can get going with your bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, turnips, celery, chard, collard greens, all kinds of lettuces, mustard greens, and then you also get a last chance with some summer squash that you can plant through September 1st, and standard cucumbers. A last chance for those that you can plant through September 15th. So that's what you can plant in the month of August. Alright, well, I hope that you found that handy dandy list helpful and that you're inspired and encouraged to get some seeds going. And remember, most of those seeds, even though it's hot, can be started directly outside, which is sometimes easier because then you don't have to take your plants through a phase of hardening off, which gets them adjusted to the outdoors. And if you'll remember, all those seedlings those tomato seedlings that I've got going, they've all been growing outside under some shade, and they're doing fine. So even though it feels too hot to you, seeds are so happy for the most part to come up in warm soil. So get planting and have yourself a great day.